Hello, everyone. Hey, Donnie, how you doing,
Hello
buddy?
out there.
This is David Don on the LIR number 6. Can you believe we've done 6 of these babies?
6 shows.
And I don't know who's watching. A few people here and there on YouTube, but here we are, and I'm gonna just jump right to it. And I'm gonna cue you with the word. I'm gonna let you take the long run with it. Okay?
Sure.
Kirk Douglas.
Oh, passing 103 or 104, depending on what newspaper you're going by. I still think some of the ones, great movies of his, I felt between the cracks. Only Are the Brave, Paths of Glory, this weird comedy he did was fun called Other People's Money, not the Danny DeVito one, but the early 60s movie. My Dear Secretary, some great stuff. No cut to the classics.
Yeah, I love
TCM.
Spartacus is my favorite, and then I like the 7 Days of May. Did you ever see that?
Yes, with Burl Lancaster. I like that, and The Devil's Disciple with Burl Lancaster.
Yeah, with Laurence Olivier too.
I like a strange western called The War Wagon with him and John Wayne.
Yeah, that was like in the '67. I think his best days, commercially and popularity-wise, when he was like in the late '50s and in the early to mid '60s.
Sure.
And he kept. I mean, God bless the guy, 103 years old. That's amazing.
Incredible. I always liked 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's a fun Disney fair.
How about the Vikings?
Vikings, a good one too.
Yeah, he was a good man as an actor. He was one of the all-time greats, right?
Absolutely.
You know, you were talking last week about Oscar weekend, and this is the day before the Oscar telecast. And you know, on TCM they have Oscar month. They showed Oscar-winning movies in one category or the other, and I happen to capture one that I really saw in the past and I loved. It's called The Lives of the Bingo Lancers.
Oh, is that Gary Cooper?
Yes, and Henry Hathaway was the director. And you know that name, don't you?
Sure, Nevada Smith.
Yeah, he went way into the 60s with Nevada Smith, but this was 1935, and I thought that was a great movie. It was British, a lot of British actors in there, but Gary Cooper was fantastic.
Yeah, TCM, great way to go. Great little films you might have missed. Worth a second viewing also when you come across classics like that.
I was looking up about Don Siegel, because Siegel was a great director. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, going all the way up to the Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood. And he became Clint Eastwood's mentor, and Clint Eastwood said he learned everything about filmmaking from him. So I was reading about him, and he goes, he directed Steve McQueen with Hell with Heroes.
Yep, Hell with Heroes. Early 60s.
And he said McQueen was on the set with the attitude that he had to save the movie, that everyone else was just doing it for a paycheck. And he said, but after a while, me and Steve became good friends. What do you think of that comment?
I believe it. I think the guy might have been a little concerned. His TV show came to an end, and he had a couple of bombs in a row that were war pictures before the Great Escape put him on the map. He had a couple pictures. No one remembers The Honeymoon Machine. Not a good choice for him. War Lover's pretty good. Hell is for Heroes, a good picture. And I think the two pictures that put him on the map as a movie star was The Great Escape, and then about 6 months later, Love of the Proper Stranger. And that set him on the course.
Well, I was watching a Siegel directed movie in the Silver Kid.
Silver Kid, I don't think I know that.
Where Audie Murphy was in it.
A Western?
Yes. It was one of his early directorial efforts, and it was really good. And it was directed by Don Siegel. I don't think it was something about the Silver Kid. Yeah, he came in to help this sheriff with these corrupt people. They were kind of really sly and sinister. A beautiful lady that was like playing the sheriff off with her brother or something.
I believe it. Yeah.
But that's when I saw it. But yeah, I'll tell you, there's so much to cover, and next week we'll be able to talk a little bit about the Oscar winners. I still think it's strong for that one lady, Renee
Zellweger,
to
Judy.
win to Judy, and then that Joaquin Phoenix. The thing that's a big discussion though is Best Picture, because this 1917 came out of nowhere and won all the awards, and that kind of eclipsed Scorsese's film and Tarantino's film. It'll be interesting who wins that. And then this Korean film, Parasite, got a lot of play, which I happened to see, and I thought it was okay, but boy, they went goo goo gaga over that
Well,
one.
I saw a marriage story. I guess Laura Dern might have shot the supporting actress.
Yeah, she should be the one, because J-Lo didn't even get nominated for that movie she was in, Hustle, and I saw that. I thought she didn't even get nominated. So yeah, I think that Laura Dern definitely is going to win. I think Brad Pitt's going to win. Last week I mentioned that he was up against De Niro. It was Al Pacino and Joe Pesci and Anthony Hopkins and Tom Hanks. What an all-star lineup for Best Supporting Actor.
I'm wondering if maybe Scarlett Johansson may cancel herself out because she's got 2 nods there. One for Jojo Rabbit, and the other one for Marriage Story. She may not get anything.
Well, she could possibly pull an upset with JoJo. Those Holocaust or films always get good votes.
Well, yeah, go figure that one out.
Yeah, right. So, John, man, we're just slowing the train down so we can finish this little episode.
Sure.
People are catching on. So, anything else you'd like to say to the audience before we check out today?
No, I hope that our earlier suggestions are fine. I think there's some great Burt Lancaster pictures too. We can talk about him next week if you like.
Well, that segues into his relationship with Kirk Douglas. Can you quickly talk about that?
Of course. They did a number of movies together. Supposedly they were friend enemies, but later on they found a way to work together with differences on different sides. Lancaster and him are great tough guys. The last team up together. Devil's Disciple we mentioned earlier. 7 Days of May you mentioned.
How about Gunfight at the OK
Corral? That's great too.
I think that was the first movie they did together, and I remember reading about that. They were kind of wary of each other, but they became friends on the set. Something happened.
And without being a spoiler alert, they kind of used and listed an Andrea Messenger, which is a good action.
Oh yeah, that's
spy drama.
My favorite scene in 7 Days of May was Lancaster was the rogue general was trying to take over, and Kirk Douglas exposed him. They were supposed to be friends. And at the very end, you remember that scene? He goes, "Who was Judas?" Like that, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "Who was Judas?" And then he goes, "Answer me." He goes, "You want an answer?" He goes, and then he goes, "He was the man who betrayed his president of the United." He really dissed him with that line.
Yeah.
But I was reading that there was a big discussion who would play what. And I guess they turned out playing the parts they played. But I really like the ending there when Lancaster gets in the car. They go, "Where to, General?" He goes, "Home. Take me home," like he lost.
Yeah.
And you know who acted their pants off? Or maybe this is a little unfair, but Frederick March was awesome.
I think you're doing a good performance. He's a fine actor. Was a fine actor.
That scene with him and Lancaster was awesome.
Maybe next week or the next couple of weeks we'll talk about Lancaster's great career too.
Yeah. There was a character actor, he played the U.S. Senator. They had him on the base there in 7 Days of May. I don't remember who he was. He was a great character actor. I don't even know what his name is.
We'll Google it later on. Yeah. We'll look it up for next week.
Okay, then. That's it, then. Thank you, Don, once again.
Well, hope we gave you some gems to look up. We hope you're enjoying yourself on this wonderful weekend.
Yes, sir. Bye, everyone.